क्या budget थी इस फिल्म की and how are you finding the box office collection?
I have a very bad reputation in Telugu, saying that I'm the guy who always never makes the film within the budget.
Apart from Teja, is there a character that you personally liked watching on screen?
The character of Guneshwar Rao, the Satya with the spikes and all. So that's the character that we added little later.
What was the most challenging scene according to you to shoot?
If you watch the film revolves around sun. So when there is sun, when there is no sun.
Right.
But when you're shooting, you cannot control sun. Hi, this is Prasanth Varma and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
Hi guys, welcome to Bollywood Hungama. My name is Urmin. Don't you love it when people talk about the film more than the promotions? इसका मतलब है कि ये organic love है. फिल्म एक्चुअली बहुत अच्छी है और ऐसी एक फिल्म आई है इन 2024. दिस इज तेलुगु's फर्स्ट सुपर हीरो फिल्म व्हिच इज Hanuman. Well, of course, it's a pan-India film. I have the writer and director Prasanth Varma with me. How are you doing, Prashant?
I'm doing superb.
How are you feeling this love that is pouring out from everywhere?
So this is too overwhelming. I'm unable to take so many calls. I'm trying to stay up all night from the last 1 week from the moment the film got released. There were so many messages. I think there are hundreds of messages. I'm just trying to reply to every message because they're all saying it just not for the sake of it, but it is purely coming out of their hearts. So there were huge messages that I'm, for a filmmaker, money and all is secondary. The love that we are receiving is too overwhelming, and the amount of success that the film is seeing is just too surreal.
As a director, when you're making a film, do you get a hint or feeling that hogi ye hit ya phir nahi chalegi? Do you get that?
For this film, I think we were very confident right from day one while we were making this film. And but when when I finally watched the first copy, finally before it goes out into the theaters, when I watched it as an audience, usually when we watch the film, we watch it with paper and pen, marking all the corrections. But when I finally put my paper away and when I was finally watching the film, I could feel my heart pumping when the climax was happening, and I knew for a fact that the audience will go through the same kind of emotion because I'm also like them. So we knew it. We knew that this will work for sure. We all knew it, but we never expected the film to do so well.
I'll tell you this. Even I watched the film with a paper and pen because I knew I had to interview you also someday. Right. And but right from the beginning, I had to keep it aside because I was so engrossed in the film. I was like, ये काम तो होता रहेगा. Enjoy करते हैं picture, and that's how I thoroughly enjoyed it. Super. Because there was entertainment, and I think it was a great casting also for everyone, including the sister. Oh my God, she's my favorite, and I think everything was just what you need for the perfect masaledar film, if I may say so. But क्या budget थी इस फिल्म की and how are you finding the box office collection that now has reached a good amount?
Yes. To be very frank, I think people back in Telugu say I'm the guy who always increases the budget of the film. I have a very bad reputation in Telugu, saying that I'm the guy who always never makes the film within the budget. But the other day when everybody is telling me that I made the film in a very less budget, and people are hailing about it. So I was telling my team, see guys, I'm the budget friendly director. See, jokes apart, we thought we'll make the film in much less budget than what it is today.
Okay.
I only thought we will make a small little superhero film with whatever the market that I created for myself with my previous film. So my previous film, Zombie Ready, was a big hit. So the film made 12 crores. So I thought, I told the producer also, let me make another film in this budget. So that we can easily recover the money and we can make one more film. That's all we were thinking. But the budget kept increasing little by little, and the producer was also telling me that don't worry about the budget. Even if it needs little more money, let's just go ahead and do it. So the budget has gone twice,
Okay.
little bit more than twice. But if you look at the overall output, it looks 10 times even more. But for us, it is like a little bit on a heavier side. But if you look at it in a totality, if you see it in comparison with the bigger budget films in Bollywood, it is probably like 5% or 10% of the so-called big budget films.
So 20 crore was the budget of
I
this
think it
film,
went
Prof?
just from 30 to 40.
30 to 40.
We finished because like initially it was just a Telugu film. So then it was a Hindi film, then the Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam. Initially, even if you look at most of the technicians, they're all not really famous people. Like they're not really expensive people. So we chose it like that. Even if you look at the singers, they were all pretty new.
Right.
But if you look at Hindi singers, so Shankar Mahadevan sir,
Sunidhi
Sunidhi Chauhan ma'am, and
Kailash Kher.
Kailash Kher sir. So when these things have started adding little bit budget to the initial thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like it's not. It was never supposed to be a VFX heavy film. It was always supposed to be this strong story with great emotion, and the devotion part is what we were mainly concentrating on.
There is a natural tendency of people to compare it to other films.
Right.
Adipurush was made in 700 crore and didn't work out on the box office and had a lot of negative comments. What are your thoughts about it, about this comparison?
I was pretty upset when this comparison has happened because, like, for me, every filmmaker, puts equal effort. And imagine if somebody says you are beautiful, but even before you're happy about it, if they say you're just more beautiful than this girl. Okay, so that doesn't make you happy,
Comparison has, it can't always be a compliment.
Yes. So, but that has definitely helped the film to get a lot of hype, the comparison. But as a person, as a filmmaker, it didn't really, excite me. Like I felt little unhappy for the other filmmaker.
Yeah.
At the same time, for me, because the price was in comparison with something else.
But on the other hand, there have been some amazing people from the industry who are praising it.
Yes.
Rishabh Shetty, who we know of as Kantara, has had written a really special message. Ram Gopal Varma had spoken. What do you feel about this support that the industry has been giving?
Rishabh Shetty sir, I actually wanted him to play that role that Samudrakani sir played in the film.
Okay.
I pitched that role to him after Kantara, and of course, like he was very busy with the Kantara sequel, the prequel actually, and he was busy with a lot of other things, so he couldn't do it. Then we went with Samudrakani sir, and he was literally amazing in his role, and we were so happy, like once we started shooting with him, on the day he got his makeup done, the overall look done, even we couldn't recognize him. Even a lot of people who came to the set thought, he is just a new actor, but nobody could recognize him. He did an amazing job. And Ramu sir has always been, supporting this film from day one. Of course, when this comparison has happened, even he was quite vocal about it. But yeah, it feels very good, I think the best compliment has come for me from Sangeetam Srinivas sir. He is like my idol and inspiration.
Okay.
So with the range of films that he's done for Telugu cinema, he's very famous for a film called Pushpak, if you know, Kamal sir's silent film.
The silent film.
So he is my inspiration, and he called me the day of the release, and he said, Prashant, I just met with an accident a couple of days back, but I watched the film, and if I could move, I would have flown to Hyderabad just to give you a hug. So that was like the best compliment that I could expect.
Prashant, for a young writer director like you, How did you come up with this story? There's a superhero involved. There's a villain, and of course a strong superhero needs an even stronger villain,
Right,
which
right.
has always been the concept.
Yes.
But there are so many elements to it. There's the stone that was important in the film. There was a sister who needed to be a strong backing support. तो ये कहानी आई कैसे आपके पास?
I write a lot of stories. Like, I think this is my some 34th script or something.
Okay.
So I love writing. So I keep writing a lot of stories, and usually I don't finish them. I have an idea and I have an ending. So, but I don't write bound scripts. So even for the films even for Hanuman or Zombie Ready, I never worked with bound scripts. So I always have exciting ideas, and there is a team of writers that we have. So the team is called Scriptsville. So my sister heads it, my own sister. So whenever I get these ideas, I just bounce with them, and they put it together. Like they develop the ideas, and they'll bounce it back to me. And this is a very organic process. Like it's a very unprofessional, very organic process that happens. We shoot, we write it again, we shoot, we edit, we look at the material, we write again. So nothing is planned. So everything just happens.
Was it planned to cast Teja for the role of Hanuman?
Initially, when we wrote it, we were thinking, should we cast a star in this film? But then we thought, only if there is an underdog, then the story works beautifully well.
Yeah.
So we thought, let's not go with the star, let's just believe in the story first. Even all the actors, if you look at them, so everybody is very apt for those roles. So we thought, let us just make the film honestly, and then I think everything will fall in place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just looking at the character, and we thought Teja is the right one to do this. So then we looked at the sister's role, and we thought Varalakshmi Sharad Kumar should do this. And then similarly, Amrita Iyer, Samudrakani sir, Rajdeepak Shetty, Vinay Rai.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
And what a great villain.
Yeah.
Of course, there is another king of the film, which is the VFX.
Right.
And it has been getting a lot of praises. Tell us about it. What was the work that went behind the VFX of this film?
So there are three main studios who has worked on this film. So none of the studios are like some big studios. None of them from out of the country. So they're from Hyderabad, Chennai, Kerala. So small little studios who's done decent work. And there's one studio which was recently, they started, they opened the studio, and it's been like 2 months before we started working on the film. So, but they're all very talented, passionate people. So they also wanted to prove. So they also wanted to show what they can. Initially, there weren't so many VFX shots in the film. So after the teaser, whenever somebody bumps into me in the airports, so they usually say, "Sir, we are good. We were huge fans of your work and all that." So they usually ask how I'm doing. So, but then after the teaser, so whenever I bump into someone, they used to ask me, "Sir, how are the VFX coming along?" So not even film, not even me.
So are you saying that VFX was put out of pressure that with so many people asking you about it?
So I'm like, okay, so you can ask me how the film is coming along or how I'm doing. But no, they were asking me how the VFX are coming. I said like, okay, so the people are expecting a lot of VFX from the film, but let us not get carried away with it. But if there are scenes that can be, made better by adding a little bit more VFX, let's just do that.
Yeah.
So initially there were probably some 600 to 800 shots of VFX. Then we have increased it to some 1600 shots. Yeah.
Just to give it back to those people who kept asking. VFX.
To satisfy them, because there will be some expectation when they come to theatre. So the hype that got generated with the teaser is a very, very good problem that we had.
Chalo, acha hai.
Yeah.
I think it was a great balance because you still maintained the story to be highlighted up.
Yes.
for people who haven't watched it, it's still running in the theaters. I would really insist, please zarur dekhiyega, because this is a film that needs to be watched in the theater and then many, many times on TV.
And with your family.
With your family.
Yeah.
Oh, very important.
Yeah.
Now, for people who have watched the film and have had their favorite scenes, why don't you tell us what was the most challenging scene according to you to shoot? Because right from the beginning, there's a jungle scene which was shot in the dark. Was that challenging? How was the entire experience for you?
I think for Teja, the underwater sequence is the most challenging thing because he had to act inside water. But for me as a director, I think the pre-interval action sequence is there, no? It looks pretty simple for you. It's basically, action that happens. But if you watch the film, this film revolves around sun. So when there is sun, when there is no sun.
Right.
But when you're shooting, you cannot control sun. You cannot say that, now I want sun, turn it on, we'll shoot it. It's not like that. So you have to wait for the sun to come out.
Right.
Because there will be clouds.
Oh.
Okay, it's an extended scene where, some part of the scene happens when there is sun and some part of the scene happens when there is no sun. And then there is a scene that happens when there is sun. Okay, so when I'm shooting, Teja's hair has to be set, there has to be a lot of dust and all we had to put. So then the shot needs sun because the shadows and all you can see. So the shot needs sun, but the clouds will be heavy on that day. We don't get the sun, we keep waiting, and finally when there is a leak, we'll all be ready, and finally something happens to Teja's hair.
Oh,
and again, we have to wait for the sun to come back.
Cannot imagine. This must have been the most challenging.
And similarly, the opposite, when you don't want the sun, there will be heavy sun.
I also noticed that this particular scene had a lot of zoom in and zoom out in terms of the camera work. Was that also something that you had planned through?
That's a camera called Mokobot.
Okay.
That's an equipment. I never thought I could afford it, but I was asking my producer, I'll just use it for one sequence, can I just use it for one sequence? He said, yeah, just go ahead and do it. So I always wanted to shoot with that equipment. So then we used it for this film. Some people call it Bolt, some people call it Mokobot. So that is an automatic camera equipment that you can program and it will go like that.
Okay.
But it has to be extremely, there has to be a lot of safety precautions we have to take because the camera won't stop. The camera will keep going in the program that we already did it for. Imagine Teja does one small little thing wrong. If the timing goes off, the camera will come and hit you. It's not like manually operated.
So the camera is doing its own action sequence.
It will do its own movements. So it will not stop. So if the timing goes like this, and by the time the camera is coming to you, and if you are little late to throw that guy out, so the camera will come and hit you. It will hit you so bad it can even break your bones.
I think action choreography it's a very interesting genre or a topic to discuss. This is also the sequence where we see these posters Teja sitting on top. How difficult was it for you to pile everyone up?
It was very difficult because
this is not SFX. This is SFX.
It's different layers put together. So obviously you cannot pile them up like this.
Correct.
So we had created a rig inside this. You will not be able to see the rig. The rig is there inside. So that, we had piled different people in different layers. We had shot multiple shots and we had to combine all the shots together to make it look like this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Like I said, everything was so appealing on the screen, which was so important. Apart from Teja, is there a character that you personally liked watching on screen?
The character of Guneshwar Rao, the Satya with the spikes and all. So that's the character that we added little later. After we started shooting, we thought, we wanted to add a little bit more comic relief in the film. So, and Satya was one of the funniest guy alive. So, even in real life, he's so funny.
Yeah.
Most of the times, the comedic actors are not funny in real life. But Satya is naturally quite funny, and few things he only improvised. Few dialogues, few antics that he did. So he improvises a lot. I
Excellent.
think it worked wonders. A lot of my team wanted to chop off his bits because they thought, this is, we are making a film, superhero film. Why do you want all these silly jokes? But I kept fighting back, saying that no, we need this fun. Let this film be very entertaining.
Prashant, because we have loved the first part, of course we are excited for 2025.
Yeah.
You've already mentioned in
Yes.
the year 2025.
Yes.
Has the groundwork been laid? Has it all started?
Absolutely, yes. We wrote more story of Jai Hanuman than actual Hanuman.
Is it?
Yeah, so we had the storyboard done. We had a couple of creatures created for it. So we were always confident that this film will work. But I was a little bit, nervous during the last 10 days of the film, where I told everyone to just stop working on Jai Hanuman because we have been working on it for last couple of months. But what if this film doesn't work? All this. I didn't want. Money is fine, but all these people who are working on Jai Hanuman will be heartbroken if Hanuman doesn't work because
Yeah.
they are working for something that is not there yet.
But there's also always a slight tension because the first film does really well, and then do you feel like a pressure for the
Not at
second?
all. Not at all.
Great.
That film is so amazing. I'm telling you,
Ah.
I cannot wait to show you that. So that film is not at all. I can just show you right now what the film is. I can tell you the story right now.
Yeah,
So
tell us. We're listening. We're all here. Camera band kar do.
so not at all. I mean, that film is gonna be so epic. I think no matter how much, because that is the film that we wanted to tell. That is the reason we made Hanuman. We are
Yeah.
doing all this. So because we wanted to tell that Jai Hanuman story. Hi, this is Prasanth Varma, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.